Welcome back to the 13th KADAYAWAN Off-Road Challenge, and we are now on our Track C. And our first racer for Track C is Altams Altamera of Eagle Off-Roaders Davao. And as we all know, it's a combination of Track A and Track B plus this one, Track C. And look at that one. Checking out his time for Track A, a quick one, 6.24.22. And on Track B, one of the most difficult track of all, and that one is part of that, is 9.59.47. Let's see if Altams Altamera will be able to set a quicker time. And of course, once he set a quicker time, everybody will be pressured to do so. There we go. Now on the closing stages of the Track C, and this is going to be a tight hairpin. That's why he has to back it up. There we go. Altams Altamera crossing the start-finish line right here, right now. There we go. That's 7 minutes, 29.53, and a total of 23.53 for Altams Altamera. Now Robert Abbas' time. There you go. The time to beat, 7:29.53. But checking out Track A of Robert Abbas, a quick one there for Track A, and for Track B, 8 minutes 29. So if Robert can more or less do a little bit lower than Altams Altamera, then definitely he's going to hold the fastest time for the Track C from Team Maxis. And we all know Robert Abbas is from Waig Off-Roaders, I think, Cagayan de Oro, or from Cagayan de Oro itself. We all know Cagayan de Oro as one of the most toughest racetracks so far, the Mangima. Call that the Mangima Challenge. There we go, Robert Abbas. I think this is the guy who won last year, and there we go. The mud pit, which is very, very dirty mud. They're almost there for Robert Abbas. Look at that one. There we go. And there's a guide or a crew who's going to help him out. There we go. Now he's crossing back to the same area, would lead him back to Track B where the time stops. There we go. There we go. Everybody else is having problem in that corner, wherein they have to back it up. He loses some time there, but look at that one. 4 minutes 18 for Robert Abbas. There we go. 4:18.09 is the time to beat. And Mike Nolasco's time right now. Checking out Mike Nolasco's time, 5.42.04 on Track A, and on Track B it's a long one there, 16.09.91. Mike Nolasco from Eagle Off-Roaders Davao. So 4:19. So if Mike Nolasco can finish this one in lower than 4:19, then he will be somewhere in the top 5 or top 3. Let's see, Mike Nolasco. This is one part of Track A, I think. There we go. That's Track A. Still on Track A, I think. Yes. So he has lose some time here. So let's see, Mike Nolasco. Problems on that corner, and everybody else having problems on that one. There we go. 7:10.75 for Mike Nolasco. Michael Serin's time right now from Eagle Off-Roaders. The time to beat still from Robert Abbas. Robert Abbas is the time to beat right now, 4:18.09. But look at Michael Serin's time, 16.41. Surprisingly, he had problems on Track A. And a quicker run on Track B, 8.38.97. There we go, just one part of the Track A, which is one of the most difficult one. And there we go. This is where he is going to cross Track A to Track B. And now Michael Serin's crossing the start-finish line. There we go, still having problems on that corner. A very tight U-turn or hairpin for Michael Serin. So Michael Serin's time, it's 6 minutes, 0.18. A quick one, I think, but still cannot outrun Robert Abbas' time. There we go, Jojo Javier's Kapangpangan Racing Team, one of our visitors here in our 13th KADAYAWAN race. So these are racers from Luzon who went all the way to join this race by Eagle Off-Roaders. There we go, Jojo Javier. Time to beat, 14:18.09, still from Robert Abbas. And checking out his time, a DNF for Track B, but a quick one there on Track A, 5:38. There we go. Monster tires, monster truck, monster engine. Very powerful engine, of course. cannot maneuver your vehicle if you don't have a powerful one. And now Jojo Javier crossing the start-finish line. Let's see if he can make another one. That's one of the most difficult part wherein you have to back it up for you to be able. So now Jojo Javier loses time here. Let's see, Javier crosses the start 7.34.19. Indeed, he loses some time there. Totin Macmang from Tricks Off-Roaders Cagayan de Oro. Macmang right now from Cagayan de Oro checking out his time. Track A 7.39.50 on track A. 12.47.50 on track B. Macmang, I think one of the top racers in Cagayan de Oro. There we go. Look at that one. I think this is the time that he's going to cross from A to B. Now he's gonna dip down there on the mud pit. He's now up in the mud pit now, crossing one of the trickiest part. I think it's a high-speed stretch, but although there is very uneven potholes, and again the most difficult one wherein you cannot get into that one on one turn. Checking out Macmang's time, that's 5 minutes 15.84. Rimpy Bondok's time right now, one of the Kapampangan racing team who went all the way to join us here in our Kadayawan race, still cannot outrun Robert Abbas 418.09. So you know why it's pretty difficult for if there's somebody who's we're able to get a fastest time, and you get so pressured for you to be able to beat that one because it's really very fast. 418. Macmang is the only guy who made through the 5-minute barrier. So let's see, Rimpy Bondok 9:35.75 on track A and DNF on track B. There we go. That's the crew. Here's the mud pit area. There you go. All the racers will definitely get wet on that one. Going back to that corner again, or to the mud pit area. There you go. Now going up here for him to crosses one of the fastest part of the track and onto the finish line, which is one of the most difficult part because you cannot go a straight one turn there. You have to back it up for you to be able to get sliced through that hill. Sixth one is 9.53 for Rimpy Bondok. Lee Albarase, Mangima Off-Roaders, checking out his time, a DNF there for track B. 9:38 for track A. Lee Albarase. So going back to Rimpy Bondok, 6:29. So is one of the few who crosses the 6-minute barrier. So far, 4 minutes, still very far-fetched here for everybody else. So Robert Abbas still on the lead right now, but so far is just waiting on the sideline. There's nothing you can do if there's somebody else can beat this one. So it's a one-shot race, one-hit race. No more tomorrow, no hit number 2. So this is off-roading. Unlike if you join a circuit race or a time trial competition such as autocross, you have a few hits to do it to change the complexion of your race, to do some adjustments. But right here you have to make your best in one sitting or one hit. There we go. This is that hit. Again, the problems going into the start-finish line for Lee Albarase. But he's almost there. Lee Albarase, 6 minutes, 27.81. That's what I mentioned a while ago. One of the few racers to get inside the 6-minute barrier. Rocky Selga, past president of the Eagle Off-Roaders Davao. There we go, Rocky Selga. Checking out his time, one of the quickest in track A, 5:05.97 and 9:17 on track B. So one of the quickest overall for the top 20. Let's see if he can make some adjustments here. As what I mentioned a while ago, is only hit 1. No more chances on hit 2. So you have to put all your best in this hit. Rocky Selga, past president of Eagle Off-Roaders Davao. There we go. Now on one of the most difficult part, going inside the mud pit, and it seems it's not a mud pit, it's already a sort of a river down there. It's a lake, a mud lake. Selga having problems on that corner, but manages to push through now, going to the start-finish line. It's a short, uneven stretch. Now he's going to make a heavy right-hander and on to another heavy left-hander. 6 minutes 17.97 for Rocky Selga. One of the few guys who crosses the 6-minute barrier. 4:18 still the time to beat. Robert Abbas still leading everybody else. On the track right now is Kim John Casil from Jensen Off-Roaders, one of the few Jensen racers who joined this race. Checking out his time on track A, 7:47.50, 8:32.72 on track B. One of the quicker racer, one of the top 5, I think, in the top 20. He has a chance here. Let's see. So if he can more or less go just a little bit lower than the 4:18, so we have to add up the track A, the track B, and the track C for you to get your overall time. Kim John Casil from Jensen Off-Roaders. Of course, you're still watching the Racing Line, and this is the coverage of our 13th KADAYAWAN Off-Road Challenge, brought to you by, of course, Eagle Off-Roaders Davao, NAS4, and of course, Colt 45, one of the leading drink that supports racing. And the only drink that supports racing here in the country. There you go, 5:07.8 in. A good run. So I think if I can count it out, I think Kim John Casil will be in the top 5 or top 6 with that time. Now it's time for another Jensen Off-Roader. That is Teody Dumagan, 10:53.15 in his track A and 12:55.04 in his track B. Teody Dumagan. Checking out Teody Dumagan right now. That's part of the track B. A steep, very steep hill. And this is part of the track A. Having problems with the gearing there, going into that very, wow, very difficult. You have to know your vehicle very well for you to be able to get on that steep hill. Teody Dumagan. A lot of people right now in the Sunday race. Surprisingly, off-roading or 4x4 racing is a 2-day race. So yesterday we have a 30 plus or 35 racers competing in the elimination round. So only the top 20 will advance to the track C or the final round. Track C is a combination of track A and track B, and so is your time should be combined. There we go. Look at that one. Pretty difficult. You gotta have a very powerful engine and a good driver and also a good crew for you to be able to maneuver that one. Of course, you cannot see all the way. You cannot see everything there when you are the ones driving. All you need to know is look at your crew and you'll be able to know where you're going. Of course, they're there to help you. You should have a crew. And Teody Dumagan, let's see. That's what I mentioned every time when they go in this, this is one of the first time who made a clear U-turn for finish line. Teody Dumagan, 7 minutes 29.53. Okay, with us right now is the champion, Sir Robert Abbas. Sir, first of all, congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Mungutan ako, unsa ang mga nabuhat ni mo karon? Ibura grabe ka extreme ang ilang race na kibuhat, A and B tapos finals.
So far, karon sa pagdula na mas excite sa the more na excite ko kay tungod aling ilang nabuhat nga race na ko bag-o na sa design sa racetrack. In fact, wala kay ko nagkuan expect nga 6 time mag-wins. Oh, in track A. And then nailang gibuhat nga mud pit nga almost sa ako ng dughan moabot tubig ng tubig na. Ang naguna to si Renan Jaime. Tapos 8 seconds lang ang difference na mo. Basta tudo bigay na gyud kung unsay makain sa kanya, unsay makain sa nako. Okay.
Track C, unsay pinakalisod na part?
Yun lang ang one. Katong so far kanagian naman namo dinhi ang A ug B. Kato na lang katong bago dito nga ang gitawag na mato table top. Hard kay nga pasaka ba kay approach dito din madpit. Mo to ang pinaka lisod.
Thank you, Bert. Congratulations. Okay, with us right now is the president of Eagle Off-Roaders, the organizer of the 13th KADAYAWAN Off-Road here in Davao. Sir Jojo, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Jong.
Sir, kumusta yung event natin?
So far, Jong, kung i-rate natin 1 to 10, parang lalampas. dahil nakikita mo naman, through sa video, makikita mo, ang expectation namin, konti lang yung tao. So, kung may mga sponsor man na pumasok sa amin, hindi sila magsisisi. Siguro, next year, more than pa yung bibigay nila sa amin.
Sir, kumusta naman yung racetrack natin? Kasi alam natin maraming mga bisita na pumunta dito. Anong masabi nila sa racetrack natin ngayon?
Nakita namin ang resulta maganda. Dahil yung racetrack natin is natural, 90% natural, then meron lang tayong man-made obstacle na hindi nakakasira.
Sir, sinong gusto mong pasalamatan sa success ng event ninyo?
Actually, marami. Hindi lang isa. Siyempre, sa sponsors, sa mga kasama ko, sa mga off-roaders na from different places, tulad sa'yo, Mr. Jong, hindi pwede na hindi kita pwede isali dahil kung hindi sa'yo, hindi maging 100% yung activity na ito.
Sir, maraming salamat. Congratulations.
Welcome.